Hi, my name is Fallout, and did you know that every time a new person clicks the subscribe button, an emblem gatekeeper accidentally breaks down a god roll? Apologies for potentially grainy video quality today. Testing footage was taken from my Twitch stream. Bungie has finally gotten sick and tired of people bitching on Twitter. Bungie has finally come to grips with the overwhelming PvP data that likely shows that Firmly Planted, while decent on other weapon types, is ridiculously free on fusion rifles. In short, Main Ingredient f***ed around and found out. The perk Firmly Planted has been nerfed, but only for fusion rifles. Naturally, people want to know, can I still coast to the lighthouse by holding down R2? Naturally, people want to know, is Firmly Planted still a viable perk on fusion rifles in PvP? Where does the Xur Ingredient stand in the grand scheme of things? Is there something better? Well, today we're going to talk about it, but first, a PSA from me to you. Gentlemen, let me tell you that if you aren't gaming with a VPN in 2022, then you're doing it wrong. Not only are VPNs great for online privacy, they are vital for gaming, and that's why I'd like to give a thank you to the sponsor of today's video, Private Internet Access. With Private Internet Access VPN, all your internet activity goes through a secure VPN tunnel. Your IP address is hidden and your data encrypted. It can be a godsend for protecting yourself against hackers and malicious websites. For folks out there in the gaming landscape, i.e. y'all, you can do things like access geo-restricted games or platforms that are blocked in your country, avoid DDoS attacks, and bypass ISP throttling, which leads to lower ping times, by the way. And why should you go with PIA? Well, all of their apps are open source, they are jam-packed with extra features like split tunneling and ad blocking, and all of PIA's servers are optimized for peer-to-peer file sharing. Not only that, but you can use PIA on up to 10 devices on any operating system. Go nuts. Right now, Private Internet Access is offering my audience a truly crazy deal. If you sign up right now using my link, you will get an unheard of 83% off and 4 more months for free. On top of that, you got a 30-day money-back guarantee, baby. Don't wait. Use the link privateinternetaccess.com/falloutplays for a huge 83% off discount and a big thank you to Private Internet Access. All right, back to the content. Okay, just so we're setting expectations for today's video, this is 100% going to be one of those things where the final answer on whatever the best fusion rifle is going to be highly dependent on what you already own. There's no perfect one answer for everybody, but with that in mind, I do have a personal opinion based on both data and my findings and my taste, which I will gladly share with you later. Great, got that out of the way. As mentioned before, Bungie has nerfed Firmly Planted on fusion rifles only. Not a shocker. If you remember, much like how electrolytes are what plants crave, stability is what fusion rifles crave. Firmly Planted is both stability and accuracy on demand for pressing one button mid-gunfight. On top of that, Xur brings yet another perfect god roll in a recent Friday goodie bag. What asshole keeps telling people about that, by the way? It doesn't matter. And the bottom line is, yeah, fusions with perfect rolls are strong. I went into a private lobby with a few buddies the other day after the nerf, our goal being to test a handful of really good fusion rifle rolls to see where they currently stand. Some of these rolls are rolls that hopefully you have too, because either A, they were brought by tentacle-faced Santa Claus, or B, they are craftable. We also tested a couple of unique rolls we had laying around. I don't expect you to also have those rolls, but I figured we were already testing, so why not? Starting with the second main ingredient from Xur with Tap the Trigger and Firmly Planted. We found out that at 21 meters away, it was possible to get a one-hit fusion rifle kill, but it wasn't very likely. Out of 4 tries, 2 of them were one-hit kills. You pretty much had to get lucky with a good bolt spread. Remember that fusion rifles do have a degree of RNG in the same way that shotguns do. They're not going to fire exactly the same 100% of the time, with Bastion being the notable exception. 20 meters was much more likely to lock up a kill with the Xur Ingredient, which, all things considered, is still pretty damn far away. Now, I never actually sat down and got pre-nerf numbers for Firmly Planted on the Xur Ingredient, mainly because I didn't know that Bungie would be cracking down on the perk so soon. However, I do have a fusion rifle video I put out back in January talking about the Timeline's Vertex, another great fusion rifle brought by Xur, featuring Firmly Planted. The video mentioned that while it was possible for the Firmly Planted Timeline to lock up a kill kill from 22 meters away, it felt more consistent at around 21 meters. Now compare that to yesterday when I retested that very same timeline after the firmly planted nerf. I tried 4 times to get a one-hit kill at 21 meters, and I was successful 0 times, with 19 to 20 meters feeling far more consistent. So overall, the gun is still really strong, but the consistent one-hit kill range was cut short by about 2 meters, give or take. And that right there kind of sums up the firmly planted nerf, but before I get into my overall takeaways, more data because I have it, so why not? The original Xur ingredient, i.e. the one featuring under pressure and tap the trigger, performed near identically to the firmly planted tap the trigger roll. Again, out of the 4 times I tried to get a kill at 21 meters away, 2 of them connected for a one-shot kill. Granted, under pressure, while great on fusion rifles, requires you to be low in the mag count, whereas firmly planted does not, and every time we tested the under pressure tap the trigger roll, under pressure was in fact activated. The Deliverance fusion rifle from the VOW raid, I was able to craft one today finally, and went with perpetual motion tap the trigger and a buttload of stability. Deliverance couldn't quite get the one-hit kill at 21 or even 20 meters away, being far more consistent at 19 meters, with 2 out of the 3 attempts ending in a one-hit kill. We tried testing it with perpetual motion active, and while it didn't push the range out to 20 meters, it seemed more consistent than it did when I was standing still. The Likely Suspect, which I've crafted with firmly planted, successful warm-up, and a butt ton of stability, unshockingly only performed really well at about 16 meters. I was able to get a kill at both 17 and 18 meters, but it was really rare, requiring a lucky bolt pattern. I say unshockingly, by the way, because Likely Suspect is a rapid-fire frame fusion rifle, aka it was built for quick fusion rifle killing, not deep one-shot killing. My buddy Jason had a main ingredient with firmly planted and rangefinder, a role I've been chasing for a damn long time. His wasn't perfect, it had a reload masterwork, but it did have particle repeater in column 2. The firmly planted rangefinder role was able to get a kill from, get ready, 22 meters, noticeably further away than either of the Xur rolls. At 23 meters, the damage drop-off was just too strong, but again, 2 out of 2 times it locked up the one-shot from 22 meters away. So what's the TLDR here? IMO, there's a few. First of all, the firmly planted nerf is noticeable on fusion rifles, but it isn't huge. I think it's mainly gonna mess with people's muscle memory in PvP. I went into quick play and had a few moments where I know pre-nerf ingredient probably would have grabbed the kill, but the new ingredient just barely missed out. For the most part though, fusion rifles, including the Xur ingredient, are still strong without question. If you were hoping this nerf would completely bury the fusion rifle meta overnight, you're probably gonna be in for a rude awakening when Trials comes back this weekend. Getting a one-shot fairly consistently from 20 to 21 meters away, still nothing to sneeze at. And even though firmly planted now grants less of a benefit to fusion rifles, it's still a free buff to both stability and accuracy on demand, and I'm 100% going to keep looking for fusion rifles that have that perk. After all, both my Xur ingredients outperformed my custom handcrafted Deliverance, incapable of rolling firmly planted, and they're both the same archetype of fusion rifle. If Xur ever rolls in on Friday with either firmly planted rangefinder or under pressure rangefinder, well, Twitter will have a goddamn conniption, but that will be the new go-to in my opinion without question. For right now, both Xur ingredients are still damn good and will likely continue to lead the pack in PvP for fusion rifles, depending on what other roles you might have in the vault. Please like today's video if it helped you or gave you any kind of insight, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I got some fun content coming to the channel next week and beyond, including one video in particular I'm very excited for, so ring the bell to make sure you don't miss out. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.